provide more freedom seats for your Second Amendment equipment, give them a call. On average, they'll save you $1,100, and it's free. It is free. They help the family member. That's why I reached out to them to advertise for them. They say they saved a very, very, very close family member of mine $1,200.
Hello, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Please excuse my little thing here. It's let me see if I can put that up a little. It's no, I'll let it go down. It's a nice day. Happy Father's Day to all fathers, to all those celebrating, to all mothers who also are playing the role as father in their children's life. Okay? So let me see if I could lower this. I have the TV on a little bit loud here. I'm going to give it about a few minutes and then we'll get started on our show. Well, a few seconds. I like to be tardy. So let's see. Happy Father's Day to fathers here, to fathers that are not here anymore, to those who are celebrating and those who are taking a moment to remember their fathers on this day, whether they're here or not. Today's date is June 15th, 2025. Father's Day is the main theme, but we're going to get away with some, let's get to the first part of the show, which is a recap of the news that is out there in the world. First thing, and you guys know I'm going to go here because me being a veteran from the Army, happy 250th birthday to the United States Army. It has been an honor that I have been attached to this wonderful branch, and I have served my years. And you guys know what it says. Those of you who are in the military knows you never stop serving. Yesterday was the parade in honor of the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army. And I have to say a special congratulations to those recruits who were honored enough to take that, to take their pledge by the Commander-in-Chief. Do us proud. To those who have served prior to, those living and those not, thank you. My predecessors, hoorah to those who I have served with. And I wish you all the best of those who have come after. Okay, so we have that is done. We also, on a more somber note, this week also, it was unfortunately Israel and Iran has exchanged fire. And I have put some thought into some of this week, and I thought, you know what, I think we got a little complacent. Oh, by the way, you might hear the train horn going as the train goes through. New work done. Hopefully it won't last more than a week or two, and next week we won't be hearing that. If you hear it, I apologize, and I'll try to edit that out when I do the editing part of this live. I think we got a little comfortable with peace being in the Middle East there for a couple of years, and I'll have to say it's flashbacks to the 80s. I hope it won't last too long, and I hope we won't get dragged into this, because we have enough stuff to worry about here back at home. And we also have a lot of self-work to do on ourselves. Just saying. Okay, so we have that going on. Oh, and on that note, those of you who have not is not on social media that much, that are, I'm not sure what the main media is telling people to do. My recommendation is, before the gas prices shoot up to high prices, this is summer, 4th of July is coming up in about 2-3 weeks. It's going to be a high travel area. Fill up on gas while the price is still low. As this was developing this week, I told my personal family members that I know have vehicles, to fill up and have some in reserve if the prices are good. So I suggest the same. No matter where you're looking at, I suggest the same for you. It's pricey now. Everybody's living on a dime. Very few people I know is not living paycheck to paycheck. So any little bit helps. That's part of the homesteading part. Yesterday, along with the anniversary of the 250th birthday, it was also our commander-in-chief and our president's birthday. Yesterday was also Flag Day. So it's not a day that most people know, and I think I might do a special recording on the history of Flag Day here in the U.S. because growing up in an immigrant household, Flag Day for that particular country was actually always remembered. Although my father, we did when we moved to our first house, and I'm going to refer to my father since this is Father's Day. He is no longer here. He is highly missed, and for those who are missing their fathers, living in their memory is always acting within their memory. In every action you take in life is always an attribute to their memory. We did have a flag post, and my dad was somewhat religious, so he did not believe in flying any flag. He was very adamant, and he taught me through discussions how to be patriotic. And he always believed if the flag was not the flag of the country you reside in, no flag should be flown. So he took down the flag post in our first home, not to offend and to cause controversy. I learned a lot about that, about being PC before PC was cool, from my father. Um, but Flag Day was always remembered, um, and it was always something discussed from his country back in the day. I don't think my dad knew when Flag Day was here because growing up, it wasn't so prominent and such a sense of pride here in New York City where we lived. So, that being said, that's as far as I could remember. Also, yesterday was a mixed day of joy and somewhat conflict because they also had the No Kings protests going on, which during the day, and from what I understand throughout the country, I'm going to hit on another tragedy which most have heard of or will be do know of happening back then. Let me turn up my volume because I'm seeing my volume is not coming up too keenly. There we go. Okay. So yesterday was the protest of No Kings. I was not part of that, nor did I go out. And I will explain that when I do my recap why I was not on and about. Outside the fact that this weekend is a crappy weekend in New York City. It's not the best weekend that we had. It's been overcast most of the time. As night fell and the afternoon came, during certain parts of the United States, there was conflicts, there were violence, there was a shooting at Salt Lake City. Um, Luckily, no one was hurt. Again, the ongoing riots in LA, some conflicts in Seattle, some conflicts in Chicago. I believe I have not heard any news that anything happened here of violent contents in New York City. So it turned out to be a pretty decent. It turned out to be a pretty decent day protest wise. Unfortunately, I do have to share my condolences for two federal, I believe they were a congressman and a senator, which were shot yesterday morning. Rest in peace to the congresswoman. I believe it's a congresswoman, and her husband, who did not survive their assassination attempts, and a speedy recovery to the senator and his wife on from for their recovery, because from what I understand they were in just surgery, and then they're in recovery right now. From when I last I checked, they were still in critical condition. The wife was shielding her daughter during the attack, which from what the news is saying was unscathed, except for probably the trauma of witnessing everything. Unfortunately, for this Father's Day, it's too close to home for tragedy. And that's tragedy for both um, government officials that had their life threatened, and in one case taken away, and for actually the perpetrator, because they had children too, and now they are without their parents. Um, and that is that news. Also, I hate to say this, and I didn't want to bring this up, but I guess my favorite baseball team, the Mets, did a faux pas during their game yesterday. And during the national anthem, instead of showing the United States flag on Flag Day, they chose to show another flag. And there's a lot of outrage on that. How you feel on that is how you feel on that. I'm not going to share my opinion on that, although that might show up on a later date. Too soon. All right, that is the weekly gap. That is the weekly what's going on in the world that we need to be aware of. Keep the families of those who were tragically affected this weekend due to the certain violent events, and this is also including those within the conflict in the Middle East, in your prayers. And I hope we could start healing, because we need something, which we are going to work on an individual basis on healing. Now, let's do a recap of what we discussed last week. Last week, I touched on perimenopause and the whole process. I did go on a whole rant about that because it is close to me. And I have an update because I spoke about this product that I'm using. Let me see if I could get this in view. Now, anything I bring up here, I am not sponsored by them. I'm just sharing what works with me. And women who are going through perimenopause know that this is is a discussion that we don't have enough of. I always say this. And I started using this last week. And and you're going to look at the instructions. So the instruction is this: you're supposed to use it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, and you use it for 3 weeks, and then you skip a week, and then you start over again. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm raving about this. I've even shared it with some of my fellow employees that are actually going through menopause, not perimenopause, and it helped so much. It helped so much where there were certain effects that I was going through that I didn't realize till I started taking this. For example, my appetite changed. I didn't realize my appetite changed. I was not as hungry as much. I could not eat as much. I started taking this for the week. Midweek, I started to realize that I'm able to sleep throughout the night, which those of you who know knows. It was nice to have a full night's sleep. Also, the hot flashes, they're not completely gone. They're not as intense. They're not as sudden, and I'm able to function in it. I also realized that I lost my appetite, which I did not realize, which is probably, weight gain, a sudden weight gain due to perimenopause and menopause is known. So I'm able to my appetite came up where I'm actually after this recording I'm going to start food prepping again, which is something I was doing in preparation for the homesteading part of this channel, and I just kind of fell off because I was wasting food. I wasn't eating. I didn't want to eat. I didn't bring food to work. I didn't order food when I was at work. And now I find out during the morning I'm hungry. I'm getting up earlier and I want breakfast. I want lunch. I want a real meal. I think also adding probiotics into it is helpful. I am I am talking more, which actually leads into the next thing we talked about, was dealing with physical pain. I am talking more with my pain management, which is my chiropractor and my doctor, on taking my medication. I'm actually I haven't done this because I am on high blood pressure medicine, which I think has a lot to do with perimenopause. I'm going to see if I could come off of that with my doctor's recommendation. Um, but I'm starting to feel better. The mind fog is not as permanent. I'm not saying this is all due to the organic wild yam cream, but it is very helpful. Now, as we're talking about physical pain and talking to your physical practitioner and your pain management, I have to have a suggestion for us, for you, which is something that we don't do. And that is actually having a conversation with your um, healthcare provider. They can't help you if you don't let them know. Ideally. And also my back pain. My back pain is alleviating due to, it took about, I think it's almost a month, a little shy of a month, that the pain is alleviating because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm going as I'm supposed to. I'm actually doing the exercises I'm supposed to. This is part on you. This is on you. This is what you have control of. But you have to let them know. I've already spoken to my chiropractor on my goals. I used to do when I was 44. I was doing kickboxing. And my personal thumbnail is a picture of what I look like when I lost all my weight due to that. And I tell you what, it was my pride and joy. And that's my goal. Even going through perimenopause, even going through menopause, I'm trying to get there. And I spoke to my doctor. I said, this is what I want to do. This is my next step. And we talked about, this is too early for this. You will get here, which is very encouraging, but you have to take it step. I actually am walking with a cane. Not that I need to, but I'm walking with a cane to alleviate causing damage and going 2 steps back when I'm moving forward. It helps me with support. Yesterday, I had a doctor's appointment, and I'm going to pat myself on the back. And this is what you should do for yourself every time. I was able to walk to the doctor's appointment, to my doctor's office, and I was able to walk back. The walk back was a little bit difficult. Granted, I got a little stretched out, and you had a little agitation. But even when I got back, and I had to stop a few times, you take time as you do to heal. I I was still able to do a lot more than I have been able to do in months since this thing took hold of me. And it's you take care of you. You are in charge of your health. They are your guide, but they can't guide you if you don't tell them. Now, before I move on to the main topic, I discussed a book. This is the book. It's called Asian Secrets of Health, Beauty, and Relaxation. Ladies and men, this is how you could turn your home into a home spa. When I edit this, and possibly after this live, I'm going to put a link because I did do a search. This book is on Amazon, not the same cover, same title, same author. I probably have to see if I probably have to purchase the new one that's on there. I have to see if she's added anything else in there where you could use natural products, natural ways of making your home also a mini spa. And you could do it whether you live in a studio apartment or a mansion. Anything in between you could do. Now, speaking of pampering yourself, once again, happy Father's Day. Today is a day that we pay tribute to our fathers. We pay tribute to the memories of our fathers. Whether your father was an absentee father or not, they provided you with lessons. So I want to ask you this question. What lessons did you learn from your father? Now, your lessons could be positive in every aspect, whether they were there or not. What do I mean? Let me see. Wait a minute. I'm not seeing the chat for some reason. I usually do. Give me one moment. Let me see if I see the chat. I'm sorry, guys. It looks like the chat is not up right now. Let me see if I could get that fixed here. Because I like to conversate with everybody. Okay. There we go. Oh, let me see if I. Oh no, the chat went away. Let me see if I could fix this. There we go. Live chat. Okay, it says the chat is disabled. I'm sorry. Um, Next time I'll fix that better for everybody. All right. I'm not sure if I'm going through. Okay. They said the chat is disabled. So for that, I do apologize for anybody who wants to chat. But if you want to leave a message after the fact, or, and I don't have a chat. I don't understand why my chat is disabled. Give me one moment. Let me see if I could fix this real quick. I'm also trying to fix this. Oh, in the meanwhile, while we're thinking about it, and we'll see. All right, we'll see if this fix it. Looks like the chat is disabled for this particular one, and for that I do apologize. I did want to have some interaction during this one, but we'll just go ahead and if you are on X, let's see. I don't know if I could go live on X as well. Figure that out later. Yeah, I can't go live on X either. Okay, so we'll just move forward as is. And what we'll do is we'll continue. So, my question to you now is, what lessons did you learn from your father? Fathers, as you get your wonderful gifts, you're pampered for the day. Moms who act as fathers, as you're being pampered on this day. What lessons would you like to pass on to your children? I learned so many lessons, and in retrospect, I wish I would have paid more attention. Um, I was going through the my YouTube, watching things on people I didn't know much of, which actually impacted a lot of things that I did. I've learned, and a lot of habits I have. A lot of habits I have now, I learned from my dad. Which actually was one main lesson, was a lesson that I wasn't aware of. I don't know if it was by imitation, complimenting via imitation. I like to take notes. That's all I do is take notes. I have a to-do list that I follow religiously every day. Um, if I go out shopping, I have to have a shopping list, or else, you know how it goes. You spend so much money. And then a couple of years back, I had a cousin of mine sit there and share with me and made a funny comment that I didn't realize till she made it. She goes, "Oh, you and your sister, which is the one right behind me, you guys in your list, you always have your list, just like your father used to have." I didn't realize that. And then upon my dad's passing, I had to go through his paperwork. And there's more to about going through his paperwork because my mom was too distraught to go through it. And all I found was piles of to-do lists, piles of shopping lists. And I'm like, holy crap, that woman was right. I am organized with to-do lists. I am organized with taking records of journaling. My dad used to journal. I journal. I think all my siblings, except for maybe one or two of them, we journal. This is the legacy. Fathers, your habits turn into our habits, good and bad, but your habits turn into our habits. Your priorities turn into our priorities. How we move in life is due to how you move in life, which is imitation, um, complement, complementary via imitation. Not that we want to imitate it, just we fall into lines. I looked at this. I was watching. I can't remember his full name. He was part of MythBusters. He was, believe it or not, the creator of Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda, our favorite one. He created it. Um, Let me see if I can find his name here real quick for you. Thank you. I see that. By next week, I will fix the notifications as well as the chat. I'm not sure why it was turned off. I will do some investigations and find out why. So, and it's very important for me to say this man's name because Grant Imahari, Imahara. He was an engineer. From what I gather, was a creator of Baby Yoda, which we all love due to the Mandalorian. And there's a reason why I bring him up because it reminded me of something that my father used to do. Um, he uh, he was an engineer and he used to do wars. And the reason why that came true to me is because he was into engineering at an early age. His mother encouraged him. It appeared that he came into a family household. Was it a yeah, single family household. His mother was his encouragement as an engineer. He would do things. I think so. I'm not sure. I'll probably put the link to the documentary that they have for him in this below. Um, but he actually he actually was a pioneer when it came to engineering and sharing his engineering skills with others. And I remember my father sitting there, and if I would have followed, because just like him, we were me and my sister. We okay in the 80s. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have portable anything except there was a portable big chunky portable TV. We had Radio Shack, and each one of us, the two oldest ones at the time, got each portable TV, and we both took turns taking apart. I probably didn't. I missed my calling. Taking apart our TV like he did when his parents had electronic devices, but portable TV was ours, so we wouldn't get yelled at for that. And putting it back together. And he did that throughout his childhood. And when my mother was screaming that, how do we take that apart and we can't have nice things? My father was sitting there. I remember him sitting there with a prideful grin. And I never understood that his daughters were able to do something like this. Then there was a robo thing. And my dad he was a mathematician. I was not a mathematician. Math is kryptonite for me. But he would sit there and he would read books, which I'm doing a lot more of, and do personal studies instead of going to school. He believed in reading, which at the time I was young. When you're young, you're not into that. But he never deterred us. Mothers discipline and nurture to a point. Not all mothers, but most mothers. While fathers nurture in their own silent ways. Fathers nurtures in their own silent ways. Why do I bring up this particular engineer? Well, a couple of years prior to me leaving one of the best jobs I've had for more than 10 years, I volunteered in those robot wars. And I was amazed. at the fathers there with their children, girl or boy, standing prideful, cheering their kids on as they highlighted robots that they created on their own through scraps, no matter which way, in these robo wars on this certain level. It was beautiful. And this is where we don't understand enough to appreciate sometimes our fathers. So I bring this up. I bring another thing up for you. Now, this is something you could journal, you could bring up on your own. What does the word father means to you? Fathers, just like mothers, deserve more than just a day. They give us life lessons. Mothers give us a certain type of life lessons, and fathers give us another type of life lessons. That's why we need them both in our households to balance us out. Father is the silent nurturer. Father is the provider. Both teach us life lessons, but both teach us different aspects of it. I'm going to see, and it really does bother me. I don't know if it's YouTube. Maybe maybe there's one of my videos that doesn't go through. That probably is not, but I would really like to hear. If not, I can't even put it in the chat for you to. I can't even put it in the chat for you to send me an email, but I will put it in the description. How's that? Let's put it in the description for you. So you could go ahead and email me what you think, if you wish to email. I know sometimes it's a bother. I don't usually deal with emails too much. So if you wish, I put it in the description. And everything I discuss, I'll put in a link into the description about that. But I want to end on this note because this is going to be a short one because it's going to be a busy day. I'm still feeling good. But like I said, Father's Day is a bittersweet time for me as well because my dad is not here. But then again, I do have to bring up a point. You also hit father figures that may not be your biological father too. We could always learn by those. Once you're a father, you're always a father. That's the wonderful things about the word father. They naturally, whether you're biological or not, they nurture you. They nurture your talents. They feed your positive passions, hopefully. So let's bring back the pride of being a father again. Let's bring back the pride in the title of father. It's a lot to live up to, but it's worth it. I'm going to cut this one short today due to technical difficulties, and I need to find out what's going on with my chat. But at the same time, happy Father's Day. Go out and enjoy Father's Day and have a beautiful day. Please like, subscribe, and share.